what can I say, the best of the best. And Garry, like you say, is analyzing, getting prepared. And Maurice and I will recall, of course, when Garry takes off his watch, he came in, which he has done earlier, he came to play. And when he put the watch on, it meant the game was over. And there they're off.
And it looks like he's playing a modern.
Pert defense. Wow, Garry. Oh, and it's a transpose to a King's Indian after this move C4.
Strange that Wesley didn't go for some other lines.
And it hasn't.
Bishop
It's
G4
Bishop
by
G4.
Garry, taking the position into original lines. This move, not the common move.
This
So
was a favorite opening. I used to play a favorite defense. I would play in this position knight c6. And my idea, of course, is to capture this knight on f3, followed by capturing the pawn on d4. And if they played the move d5, to do the same thing, to capture this knight and then to occupy the square d4. And knight d2.
That's an unusual move, absolutely, in this position.
Right out of the opening, we're getting something very, very different. Now, everybody and his brother plays e5 in this position with the idea that after d5, you drop back with a knight to d7 and you transpose into a King's Indian, where this knight on d2 is utterly misplaced. We'll see if that happens that way.
Of course, the bishop on g4 is not a happy camper. It doesn't want to trade itself off normally in the King's Indian. So you see there, after it was attacked, Garry dropped it back to d7. That's a bishop you want to retain in the King's Indian. But at some point, it looks like he's going to get in f5. Can he get it in without... Well, it doesn't look as though he can get it in without developing his knight just yet. He might be able to play h6 and go for it. It would be nice gaining a tempo if he could play this move f5 without having to bring the knight out castle and then move the knight again and then get it. So that pawn, f7, f5 is the move that Garry's going to be looking for. And c5 already.
Whoa. C5.
C5.
With the idea that if you take, we can play knight c4, start ganging up on that e-pawn.
I love that move. Trying to throw Garry off right away in the opening, and Garry realizes it.
Yes,
give me the pawn.
He's doing what I would, and play f6. Just throw down the challenge.
And
You're the one who sacrificed the pawn. Let's see how it goes.
So now if we play d6, you just put you can just go knight
c8. Knight c8
I
looks
think you
fine.
gotta go knight c8, because if you go knight c6, we can take on c7 and play knight d6 check anyway.
That might be that strong, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
That might not be that strong, because after king e7, your knight will have to leave.
And the knight will come back. So
well, I have b7 though.
I think Wesley's just going to play
B7,
bishop e3 and slow play it.
Yeah.
Like as a pawn sacrifice.
Right, and then we have d6 in the cards anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So
but hold on a second. In this position, b5 is an idea. And he has played d6 and knight drop back to c8. So we are seeing this critical line. d6, knight drop back, and now the move bishop to e3. That is an interesting variation. The point being that the knight on g8 cannot get in the game, and white is threatening the pawn on c5. The question is, what if b5 right now? Now he's played b6, being very solid. b5 didn't lead anywhere, but this move b6 after castles, white is way ahead in development. Black has to figure out how to unravel his pieces.
Well, it's very simple, Maurice. You just play knight h6 in such positions. You bring your knight to f7, and you quickly, and I mean quickly, get your king out of the center. And again, these pieces on the king side, white's pieces, the bishop on e3, bishop on e2, knight on f3, are not major actors in this type of structure where black is blockading with his pawns on e5 and c5. Personally, it's easier to play Wesley's position, but I actually like black's extra pawn.
And Garry's played the move bishop to c6,
very
attacking
cagey.
the pawn.
I like that move too, attacking the pawn on e4, as well as now threatening the pawn on d6 3 times.
that's right, and stopping any kind of little ideas like queen d5 that we might have in the position.
Right.
So now
The engines are giving takes on c7 right now. After all, that pawn is hanging, and he has to take and capture back by Garry. And now the move b4, Wesley insisting on playing incredibly sharp chess on every move, and Garry shaking his head because Wesley will not let him develop any pieces without aggression on the board.
That's
and
right.
Now he just can't develop his knight because c5 is hanging. But if he takes on b4, then a rook will go to c1, and that is his plan. Wesley, on every move, it looks like Wesley's intends on opening up the game, playing gambit chess, and forcing Kasparov to think, and Kasparov boldly just taking the pawn anyway.
That's right. Well,
the capture did in fact occur, and now rook to c1. That he did not play knight e7 just yet. That move has not been played just yet.
So what kind of
what is Wesley's plan?
Simple. Keep that king in the center. That was why I wanted to go knight h6 and f7. Wesley is not letting Garry breathe. Every single move, he's throwing down a new challenge, a new sacrifice. Wesley's idea is to play queen b3.
And he's done that.
And knight e7, queen b3 is on the board, so you don't want to castle right now because of a horrific discovery by that knight.
Exactly.
The queen on the long diagonal, preventing the king from castling. How will he get out of the center?
That is
and the engines, by the way, are giving a huge edge to white right now, saying that white is crushing black by a full piece, according to the engines, because the black king is stuck in the middle of the board. h6, that's not making any progress in this position.
Well, how do we build up the position as white? We could just play rook to d1,
rook to d1. I like that.
Just play rook d1, and at some point you got to be careful about us removing the knight from c4 and sticking a bishop on b5.
That is absolutely right. This position is huge for white. Full compensation for 2 pawns down. 2 pawns down.
And rook d1 was played.
But the question is, I'm trying to get into Gary's head. What was he thinking about with this move h6? He can't be thinking about playing f5, opening up the position to the better army. No. So what was?
Well, he's played b5 here.
b5 now on the board. The engines give that as totally lost.
Knight takes e5 and bishop b5.
Bishop b5. What is this about?
Wow.
More sacrifices. The engines gave knight a5 is completely crushing, but this is bad as well. This is also bad. That c6 bishop.
We're threatening bishop c6 and queen e6 check.
What about just queen e6 right now as well? Everything is bad for him. He just played rook to b8, forcing the trade. It looks like queen e6 won't work right now, but there's got to be a death blow.
Well, you can take on c6 and then play queen e6 also. But he just played bishop a4, renewing the threat.
Wesley's playing incredible chess. That was the engine's first
unbelievable chess by Wesley.
Choice. So far, gorgeous attacking game.
And he did it in
Blitz. It's just astonishing the way he's completely dismantling Kasparov in this game. He is playing just sacrificial chess. He's playing in the style of Tal. You're looking at this right now. Beautiful.
Fantastic game so far.
This is
Garry missed, I think Garry missed b4 because you can see as soon as the move b4 happened, he was already like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
Is queen b7. He played queen to b7 is on the board.
Queen b7.
Oh my goodness.
b7.
Rook c6 is
and
crushing.
queen e6 check, yeah.
Rook c6 is just, if he finds that, this is the other game, which is not nearly as exciting.
He's going to find rook c6.
Will he find it? Rook c6. And bam! There it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wesley So playing one of the greatest blitz games I've ever
and now
witnessed.
He's played bishop c5, and he's just threatening bishop takes c6.
This is like
bishop takes
Morphy versus the Duke.
This is unbelievable chess.
This is one of the greatest.
Gary knows it now. He's completely busted. What an amazing display by Wesley.
Wow.
And now taking on e7 and resigns. What do we see here? I mean, kudos to Wesley So. He just ripped Garry apart in that game. You can look at this game from just studying move by move, and Wesley instantly playing genius chess. Incredible.
Wow. Those of you who bet on Wesley in this match, who believed in the underdog, give yourselves a big pat on the back, because that game was the game of the Ultimate Blitz so far.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in shock.
That game is one of the most amazing blitz games I've ever seen in my life.
Hands down.